Hello everyone from cfctvyt. My name is Alex. I'm here with Nina outside the London Stadium. Nina, we've lost 3-1 against West Ham. I thought things were going to change, but unfortunately, that's not the case.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a disappointing one because I think we all came today thinking that maybe we get our first win of the Premier League season, but no, instead we got our first defeat under the Poch era. And yes, it's disappointing, but it's not as disastrous as it would have been if we were talking, last season. So yes, although a lot of things went wrong today, I think there's big improvements to be made into our next game with Luton. But you can see the inexperience there, especially in our back line as well. We've been looking very good defensively recently, but you've got Malo Gusto coming in today, getting a start, and of course that's because Reece is out, so you've got a little bit of instability there as well. You've got Levi Colwill, yes, he's played regularly under Brighton, but he hasn't for Chelsea, and I think that's where a lot of people got a little bit ahead of themselves, that yes, you can be playing regularly for a team, but as soon as you make that change, come into a new Chelsea side, it's not as easy to hit the ground running, and you can see that inexperience there. It's always obviously going to be a tough up against Antonio as well, and I think, looking at the experience there, I think that really did let us down today. Equally Disasi as well, he's had a couple games, in a Chelsea shirt, and although he had a good game against Liverpool, just wasn't quite the same, and I think this is where people have to be a little bit patient with the inexperienced players, because as much as we want them to gel and just be a team immediately, and Poch to click his fingers and work the magic, it's not going to be quite the case. And I think although we are under some pressure this season, Chelsea, and all eyes are on us because of how much money we have spent, I think we still need to give those younger players a little bit of time to work. We saw it was decent against Liverpool, came to West Ham today, and I think luck wasn't quite on our side. When you miss a penalty and you're missing kind of chance after chance, they had a red card, we thought maybe we'd get back in the game, but when Sanchez is getting tested, even when they're playing with 10 men, that's when we've got some issues there, and I think you can see the shakiness in Sanchez as well a little bit. I think if we're going to be contending for the title of years to come, I don't know if Sanchez is definitely the guy for us there, and I'm not going to be quick to say that it's all his fault, because it's not quite the case, but you can see it in the way he distributes balls and the way he kind of freezes as well on a counter-attack. That isn't the confidence that you want there in your keeper, and it does let us down, especially when you've got such an inexperienced back line there before you as well. I think Enzo lost his head a little bit as well after he missed that penalty. It happens to the best of us, so I don't take penalties, but I can imagine that it is obviously a big job there to have as well. So he did what he could, but that press from West Ham was absolutely consistent there for the whole 90 minutes, and we struggled. I'll give Sterling some praise as well, because he hasn't been our best player, and I did say maybe bench him today, but obviously he proved to me otherwise, because he was arguably one of the best players on the pitch, trying to consistently get in there. Sometimes I was itching for him to just cut in rather than keep taking it until the end and try and make that cross, literally from the sideline there. So I would have just perhaps wanted him to cut in a little bit. And we seem to freeze in front of goal again. Not enough shots being taken when the opportunity strikes. And speaking of strike, Mudryk, I think, missed a goal. Well, it should have been a goal, and he missed an opportunity there that could have gotten us back into the game. But I said this, Mudryk is a player that he gets chucked in there, and then all eyes are on him because he hasn't been playing, or he hasn't been scoring, and he hasn't been assisting. And it's so hard for a player to come into a game where you're chasing a lead and off the bat get goals, get involved, especially because when he initially came on, he was in midfield as well a little bit, wasn't it? It was only when we switched our formation and played with 4 at the back, with our 3 kind of in behind with Jackson, I think that's when he got a little bit more involved in creating, but equally I think it just wasn't enough time to make an impact. Again, obviously Carney, fantastic goal, let's give him some praise as well. And we can't really be happy Chelsea fans, isn't it? When a celebration happens, it means that something's got to go wrong after, and of course he's out and injured, and I hope that's not the case, that he's out for long. But you see the talent in Carney as well, because that's why Pochettino is playing him again and starting him, because he's letting him build on that, and now it's cut short. And we've seen a lot of that happen last season, where players build momentum, then they get injured, and then they don't come back for ages. Jackson was good as well, I thought, today. A bit sad that he was left to work on his own a lot of the times, but I feel like he's that striker that makes it happen on his own, and he was short from scoring, but I think the goals will come. So yeah, a bit of a bummer, but things that can be improved is what I'm saying. So it's not like the end of the world, but work needs to be done before Luton.
Well done, Nina.